Threats of thunderstorms in July. So we're still on my list if you want to come sometime. Okay.
Absolutely. I have to get my hand
Let's start on page 128. How lovely today is. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Maya Ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Ve'ayom. Shabbat Shalom. Let's go to 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Thank you, Erev. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other. To work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Let's turn to page 120, and I am honored to invite up Ellen Nobleman and Lori and Brad Julier to lead us in the lighting and blessing of our Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. I find sometimes it's hard to let go of a week. Parts of it linger, parts of it linger in my spirit or in a ball of tension in my stomach. in my mind, with the thoughts that are still racing with the to-do list that's kind of always there. And I think about the fact that the very beginning of the Shabbat service are little ways of easing into Shabbat. Maybe recognizing that sometimes it's hard for us to give ourselves permission to let go, right? And to even take an hour, if not even the whole 24 hours, but even 1 hour to let ourselves relax, to let ourselves just be these incredible spiritual human beings that God created. And so we tiptoe. We have an opening song, then we tiptoe, we light the Shabbat candles, and now we're going to tiptoe towards welcoming the Shabbat presence with Lecha Dodi on page 138. And then I see us when we stand up and we turn towards the door that we're kind of buying in that much more with our bodies, right? The tiptoeing has gotten a little more assertive, maybe. And maybe then we're getting closer and closer to breathing and letting in Shabbat. So before we do Lecha Dodi, why don't you join me for a few nice deep breaths. Ooh. Big Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbat. How are you? They're good. I got to see you.
And let's stay standing and go together to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. And the Chatzi Kaddish is like it's almost like a hyphen, no, more of a comma or a slash, separating one section of our service from the next. So we've been warming up and we've been tiptoeing into Shabbat, and now with the Chatzi Kaddish, we're really diving in to the next big section of our service where the prayers get that much more serious. So, Chatzi Kaddish, page 144. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rama v'yamad yirach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechom kol yom v'chayechom beit Yisrael v'ada u'bizman kariv v'hineru amen Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam le'olaya yitvarach yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitaldar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kedushav v'richu le'elam mikol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram v'yalma v'himeru amen. La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Page 149 at the top. Let's read together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aramim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, ahavta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shofeinu kumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam. say one word per breath, to really allow each word to linger as we declare these ultimate words from Torah of our faith. So we're going to hold out each word a little longer than normal and take a nice deep breath between each word. Shema.
I think that holding each of the words and listening to everybody really created a sense of community.
That's right, hearing each other's voices differently. It's a wonderful meditation as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and so at night, there's a tradition of saying Ashkavani and saying the Shema before bed, and it can be a really peaceful way of going to sleep, of even to yourself, thinking each word nice and slowly, calmly to yourself.
So is this the first time?
Yeah, it's the first time I've done it.
Wow.
So you were here for it. But, well, thank you for giving it a try. If it didn't work for you, that's okay too. But a neat thing, just to always think about how we deliver our prayers and is there something different we can do. Page 154.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvah, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Page 159. Let's read together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye, ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. Mi chamocha, my lim Adonai. Mi chamocha, nedar b'kodesh. No rati lo no sefele. No rati lo no sefele. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. Ma'ale chutecha rahu banecha, bo'okei hayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye. Ya bye bye bim bim bye, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. Ay 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 ay, ya bye bye bim bye. 161. Together in the middle. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Ve'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, bedorotam ve'ridolam. Ve'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat. before. Pray as if everything depended on God. Act as if everything depended on you. Please rise. Adonai, Sifatati Tafluvia, Gita Ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
We got you back.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one of those tickles? Talk amongst yourselves. Hold on. I'll give you a topic. Okay. I've been thinking this week about just the presence of negative things that help us appreciate the positive. Whether it's health, the lack of health that makes us appreciate when we're healthy again, pain that makes us appreciate when we're pain-free again, strife, war.
Yes.
Sure, thanks.
Is your mouth
It's not, so I'm not coughing in your ears as much. Here, thanks. The kiddish one is very good, I'll tell you. I tried it out for all of you.
What's that word?
Yeah. Huh?
Words less.
Yeah, that's good. But so yeah, so I've been thinking a lot about just things in our lives that, oh, thank you. Miss Spoiler, this congregation. Thank you. Mine.
Spoiled my water.
Mm-hmm. Water on demand. Thank you, Eric. Thinking about things that we take for granted in our lives that we don't appreciate until we don't have them. And you don't know what you've got till it's gone kind of thing. And Shabbat is a time, I think, to really appreciate our blessings and not take them for granted. Even if, thank God, we haven't had the opposite. Even if we haven't had the negative. Shabbat's the reminder to appreciate our health, to appreciate the peacefulness we have in our lives, the relationships. And tomorrow, actually tonight into tomorrow, is Rosh Chodesh Elul. It's the very beginning of this Hebrew month, right before the High Holy Days, when we're going to be taking that time to do a cheshbon hanefesh, to think about the accounting of our souls, of our lives. How are we doing? How are our relationships? How's our family? How's our life path? And it's a chance to really check in, to appreciate what we have, even when we don't quite have it the way we wish we did. So I encourage you, from this Shabbat on for the next month now, as we approach Rosh Hashanah and the days of awe, to really take time to not just, it's not a time just about beating ourselves up. Cheshbon hanefesh doesn't have to be that, but it can also be really appreciating what we do have. So, with that in mind, let's take a second to send our prayers to people who are not where they want to be health-wise, who are suffering from illness, short-term or long-term, who are in pain of mind or body or spirit. And we send our prayers to them, especially now, as we enter Elul. Tonight we are thinking of Reagan Konecki, John DeNicola, Nancy Schwam, Sam Rosenblum, Miriam Swidler, Simon Alexander Petty, Larry Mancini, Charles Sabat, Debbie Clymer, Sharon Goldberg, Layla Phillips, Iris Clark, Burl Bellows, Josephine Stricker, Cindy Rishal. Who else are you praying for tonight and you'd like to share a name out loud?
Tony Regano.
May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. Let's sing together. Really together. And thank God there are people in our lives who have healed, who have recovered, who have come back to us with a renewed sense of wellness and wholeness. Even if it's a new normal, they're still recovered in their own way. And so on behalf of all those who have healed, who have escaped danger in some way, who have returned safely from a long journey abroad and have come back home, we praise you, God, who makes good things happen in the world around us. And let's say together, Amen. Amen. And we have simchas, smachot, happy things to celebrate. Who's got a happy thing to celebrate? Ellen?
Well, my oldest grandson completed his master's degree this summer.
Wow.
And on Wednesday, he's starting a new job that arose from that. He's going to be working for Combined Jewish Philanthropy in Boston.
Oh.
And he's going to be a community communicator or something or other. I have no idea what he's really doing. But he's very excited about it.
That's incredible. They are one of the best federations in the country, and they do some of the most incredible programming.
Apparently his job is to go out where other millennials are and make things happen.
Find the millennials! Good, okay. Mazel tov. That's wonderful. Arthur?
Well, my good wife, as opposed to the bad one.
Is that this one?
What do you got?
Has been reading her files, and she's found wonderful things. I won't go over all of them. It's really maybe an article for the Megillah. But one of the things she found was a letter she sent to her sister, and she had a copy of it because for some reason, a carbon copy. Some of you don't remember carbon paper.
Yeah.
Oh, rolls? Anyway, sent a letter, and it's 1960, and she's in New York, and she said, I just met this guy, and I think it's going to work out, but don't tell Mom.
Wow. That's so neat. So it's your own time capsule.
Yeah, and she also has letters from my father from the early 70s, and he was born in Russia. He came over as an 11-year-old, and it's really wonderful. He sense of humor and criticism of Nixon and so on. Really, really good stuff. And
Wow.
Anyway, just go on and on. Wow.
That's neat. Well, but it is a nice idea for an article to think about, almost reviewing that whole part of your life in that way, the artifacts. Wow, neat, thank you. What else is going on in everybody's life? Otherwise, quiet week? Yeah, Brad.
My son just finished his, he spent the summer volunteering for IRIS, basically their summer enrichment program for you know, the sons and daughters of immigrants who are trying to matriculate into high school, junior high school, and college, yeah. And it was just a great experience for him, and we're just very proud of what he did. So.
That's great. I know both your kids have been so involved with IRIS. And does everybody know what IRIS is? Pretty much. Do you want to just share a little bit about the organization?
Yeah, it's an organization is based in New Haven. Basically, immigration, refugee integration services, and it's mostly volunteers. Just a few directors, and one of they Larry Bloom, Sue Levine are involved in where they basically help families mentor families to integrate and to assimilate. They have a mommy and me program my daughter participates in, that basically watching young children while mothers are learning English and also helping learn to assimilate. And this summer enrichment program again was a kind of a program to get their children, older children, up to speed for both academically and also socially for junior high school, and college. Yeah.
Well, I'll talk about really all the respect and honor to that. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
I got to hold new babies.
Yeah, you got to see the babies.
They're good.
Yeah, they're doing well. Yay.
Yeah.
And I know I saw that Bianca's in Philly now for like a
it
conference
was
or
like
something.
required for her fellowship.
Yeah.
So she has like a very fancy, schmancy, smarty pants fellowship for this year, but she's being paid for the year to essentially not really work. Yeah, and so, but part of it, she had to do this, to go sit in Philly this weekend, so.
Well, but you got to see babies. This chair here. Do we need to worry about what those sounds were? Anybody?
No.
No? Okay.
Summer.
Summer? It's a summer sound? There were 6 fireworks? Okay. 7
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm hoping they're fireworks too. They were fireworks? Okay. Our outdoors and
I didn't come on.
oh, thank goodness. Because I have to wait.
It sounded like the thing they wanted.
Yeah, it sounded like, it really did sound like fireworks, hear them all the time.
Yeah,
We have neighbors who insist on.
That's why I say summer. It's like for some reason, people don't need a holiday to light things on fire.
So for tonight, I thought it might be really interesting. You may have noticed I was focusing on some of the prayers in a different way throughout the service. I want to do a group discussion about the Aleinu. Okay? Can everyone hear me okay if I'm not mic'd right now? Yeah? Oh, yeah, Josie and Marito, you can hear me okay? Yeah, we're good? Oh, alien. Where's Space Force? We need them. Let's go to page 586. So, gentlemen just coming back in, we're going to do a discussion about the Aleinu. You may or may not have noticed that there are 4 different Aleinu options in our Siddur. We only do one of them, but I don't know if you've ever taken a chance to look at these pages and see what the other options are. And so I want to talk about them and why they're here and what you think about them. Okay? So we're going to start, just a reminder about how Mishkan Tefillah works. It's often a 2-page spread, right? Often, it's not the case with this particular prayer, but often you have the original prayer on the right-hand side. Hebrew and transliteration in English. And on the opposite side will be alternatives. That's kind of the case here, but not really. So you'll have one prayer per spread. You may remember that from back when Mishkan Tefillah was first being introduced. And then, of course, you have the wonderful footnotes and citations at the bottom of the page that also enhance that particular prayer. And you may remember or notice that in the margins you have a map of where you are in the service. This one happens to just say Aleinu, but if you pick a different page, you'll see there's more information there in the margins where it's almost a little bit of a map of where in the particular service you are. So, can someone please read for us on 586, the first block of English? Read it out loud for us, please.
Sure.
Okay, Eric. Shelley, you'll do the next one.
Let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Therefore we bow in awe and thanksgiving before the one who is sovereign over all, the Holy and Blessed One.
Great. So if you were going to put that in your own words, what would you say? How would you describe the main point of the prayer? Any words that jump out at you?
Great.
Great. Yeah. A lot about greatness, right? God's greatness. The greatness of the Creator. The greatness is manifest throughout the world. Wonderful. What are other words that jump out at you or other ideas?
Praise and thanks.
Yeah, which are not exactly the same thing, right? Praising God is one concept, which is its own question of, does God really need us to praise or bless God? When we say, Baruch atah Adonai, blessed are you, it's like, does God need that? But that's a different question, I guess. So praise and then thanks, right? We want to express our gratitude. Thanksgiving.
You are our God, there is none else.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so that's going to come up in all of these versions. We're going to have this idea, you are our God, there is none else. Ein od. There is no other God. Big statement, right? Probably a polemic against any other religion, right? Who's our God? Adonai, Elohim, that's it. In case there's any question or ambiguity, this is our one, right? So interestingly, that's not the Aleinu we do. You grew up with this one? Really? So not the traditional one? Wow, okay. Great. So we do the one at the bottom of the page, as many of you probably hopefully know. So Shelley, will you read the English of that?
Yes. Let us now praise the sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator who has set us apart from other families of the earth, giving us a destiny unique among the nations. We bend the knee and bow, acknowledging the supreme sovereign, the Holy One of blessing.
Okay. What do we think about that one? Yeah, John.
Very much the line, the Creator would have set us apart from the other families of the earth, giving us a destiny unique among the nations. It says a great deal about Jewish exceptionalism, but this is an Aleinu you have to be, I would think, careful where you say it, where Jews are saying it, because having been surrounded by people who hated Jews, the line destiny unique among nations, that would be a very loaded thing to use against us, and so that is proclaiming our uniqueness and unique history, but this is an Aleinu, especially Jewish communities who've emigrated to other countries, even now, say a community in Panama, they have to be very careful with that.
Yeah, exactly. Or hope that nobody reads
Hope
the
that nobody
translation.
reads it, but especially amongst, let's say, diehard Catholics,
Yeah, Shelby.
Well, it's interesting to bend the knee thing, because in the first one, it's just, therefore we bow in awe.
Yeah.
And this one, we bend the knee and bow, but we really don't bend our knee. I mean, we don't kneel, we bow.
Right, we don't become prostrate, right? But we do bend our knees as part of.
Oh, yeah, we bend, I
Right, we
guess we
bend
bend
and
a
we
little bit, but we bow.
lean. Yeah, then we rise, exactly. Right? But you're right, it's the same Hebrew, but they translate it differently, which is interesting.
Yeah.
To mention that we bend our knee and bow. Other thoughts about, yeah?
The difference in terms of emphasis here. You know, we are distinct, we are different, we are set apart, and therefore we bend our knee to God and Holy One blessing. Whereas in the other one, it says, we bow on him for the one who is sovereign over all. Holy blessed one. You know, so, you know, the other misguided people.
Right. Interesting, right? So let's look at the next one on page 587 at the top, the next paragraph, just to add another option that is given here in our prayer book. Can someone read that one aloud, please? Yeah, Josie, please.
Let us now praise the Sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of the Creator, whose unity we are charged to declare, whose realm it is our purpose to uphold. Therefore we bow in awe and thanksgiving before the one who is sovereign over all, the Holy and Blessed One.
How does that change the understanding of the prayer?
I think there's a suggestion that almost a suggestion that you know, it's our mission to proclaim God's glory. It's almost we should be spreading.
A little missionary.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obligation.
Right, so the question is, what is that obligation? Is it just to proclaim God's
Right.
glory, or is it, is it perhaps to live out some other mandate as Jews? I mean, we're charged to declare God's unity, which could be a very peaceful and, I don't know, a message about togetherness. But there's an action here, right? And then the fourth one, some of you, if you grew up in Reformed congregations, may have grown up singing this one. Yeah, you know this one? Do you want to read that one aloud?
Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you.
It was him, right?
It
Unto
used to be
him. Yeah.
who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and his greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
Yeah. So 4 options here for a leaning. So now that you've read all 4, what do you think? And what do you think about the choices that the editors made when they put the Siddur together? Notice which one they put first. Which is not the traditional one. The one at the bottom page, the one we do, is the most traditional version. That will be in the most Siddurim.
First one's about God.
Huh. The first one's about God as opposed to.
Second one's about us. That's different. The third's about what we're supposed to do.
Great way to put it. To like line them out, to lay them out. Other thoughts about the 3? Or 4? Would you choose differently? Which one would you choose? And have you ever read the translations before? Probably not, right? I think many of us rabbis hope you don't, especially for this one. We love you knowing the prayers, but especially this one. This is a tough one. And Jonathan, comes back to what you were saying. When we do this at a bar mitzvah, and I know the whole congregation, almost the whole congregation is not Jewish, I worry about this prayer.
Especially those who Catholics have grown up with a Latin Mass, because it's always, when you hear the resentment saying they think they're the chosen people, and so that line could be,
Yeah.
turn right
Could be
around,
against us.
even though the fact is being given the Torah sacrifices, like the Aztecs ripping the heart out, and said, this is probably not a group of people I want to offer it to, and it moved along.
Interesting, yeah.
And so, but this, though the second one, since who we are.
Right, and Eric, I heard you respond, and so I want to hear what you have to say. And it gets me to the question too of, do we need to shy away from feeling proud of who we are? I don't know, but yeah, Eric, what were you going to say?
All groups consider themselves unique and have a destiny given by God.
Huh,
So why shouldn't we?
nice. And why can't we feel unique? And
But
yeah,
I find a lot of times there's other, places and religions say, they refer to us as the chosen people.
Right.
And sometimes it can be in a derogatory way.
Right.
That's what your book, we know your book, it says you're the chosen people.
yeah. And who do you think you are? Why do you think you're so special?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a colleague who would ask, on different days the question would be a little bit different. One was it hard to have that burden to know that you are the chosen people? Is that a lot to carry?
Wow.
And then also as an explanation for like Jewish elitism. You look down on everyone else because you know you're the chosen people.
Where does that come from?
The idea of chosenness?
Yeah.
Torah.
It says that.
Pretty explicitly and a number of times.
Because I always thought that this was a nice way to put it, because I agree with Brad that people can be unique in different ways. We're unique in one way.
Yeah.
We have a unique destiny.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's better or worse than other people's unique destiny, but it's something we're proud of.
Yeah. And can we be proud? And have we been robbed of that pride too often in our history, where we've often had to feel ashamed of being Jewish or afraid of being Jewish? And as Reformed Jews, I think there's a tension between particularism and universalism, right? Where we want to believe everybody is special and holy and wonderful, right? And, we struggle, I think, more, Reform especially, with the particularism or the exceptionalism, right? Depending on how you want to look at it. And Elenu is actually about the Messianic times. If you read through the rest of the prayer beyond this paragraph, it's about what we want for the future. You see it especially in Vayom Ha'lu Yiheh Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad, another part we sing all the time. At page 591, V'ne'emar, right? On that day, Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one. So on that day, it's Adonai. It's our God, right? So, I don't know, yeah, a few other thoughts. Yeah, Shelley.
Well, having converted to Judaism, I really reacted to us being set apart from other families of the earth.
So what do you think?
Because that was a big thing in conversion. The whole, the first time I tried to convert, which was many years ago, the rabbi made me feel inferior because I wasn't a Jew. And the whole mikveh in his eyes was that I was cleansing myself of this horrible past. So I never converted. And so this time around, especially with Rachel, I never felt that. I never felt that there was something, that I was somehow becoming more special because I was becoming Jew. She actually put it more in terms of responsibility than a privilege. And so I like the wording which says, who has set us apart from other families. Because it isn't saying that we are superior.
Yeah.
And it implies chosen can be taken, can be seen in a lot of different ways. I think if I were to vote, I would vote for unity over
The third one?
Yeah, and I think because of what Jonathan said, I think we have to be very careful in how you said that and in what
And how it's received.
How it's
Isn't
received.
the point of the prayer that we won't have unity until we reach that era?
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. And it's also a question of who are we praying for? Are we praying for ourselves, or are we praying for what other people are going to hear? It's our prayer, right? Yeah, Brad, what are you going to add?
No, it really strikes me that, right, you read that, it looks like you're special, but, I like the way the help interpreted you guys know we have a special responsibility. That's what maybe what chosen means. We're chosen to uphold a higher moral.
That's always been my sort of understanding of the concept of chosenness, such a word, is that it's not a special privilege, it is a responsibility. Suffering servant and all that.
Interestingly, and not to like be a Debbie Downer about that, in the book Why the Jews, by Dennis Prager, I think Joseph Telushkin, and I have plenty of issues with Dennis Prager, but in the book, they try to really figure out why anti-Semitism exists. Like, why is it such a problem? Why are we always the target? And one of the reasons they give is because of this high moral duty. So it's not just the chosenness. It's not a superiority, but it's rather there's resentment about the fact that we represent goodness. And we represent ethics and values and trying to make the world a better place, and that there's a natural pushback in humanity of resentment and anger about that goodness, which is really interesting. Kind of classic good versus evil kind of thing. I don't know what you think about that, but that's one of their primary theories of why anti-Semitism exists, because we strive so greatly for that goodness. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. In fact, I think that's an even greater reason. So, I'll let you know. Anyone else want to say which one they choose before we conclude our service of Elena?
I choose the first one.
You would choose the first one.
Because I still view this as praising God. The service is, the song is praising God. And so this one seems to speak to that directly.
Rather than talking about ourselves,
Yes.
making it, about God.
I know I'm special.
You don't need to talk about it. Even Wednesday night. Any other votes? What else would you choose? Yeah, Linda.
I like the last one that I grew up with.
Yeah.
That we sang in English, and it was like the end of the service, and it was like a nice way to end it.
Yeah, Joseph.
I was going to add on to that. I like that one too because it's more personal. You're talking to God and establishing a dialogue with Him and a relationship.
Oh.
Because it's you. That's right.
It changes. It starts out the usual praise thing, but then it says, and you. And
So, interesting little asterisk about the you, and Linda, you pointed this out kind of under your breath. It's originally him.
oh, really?
In the original prayer book. It was also in the third person, but it's made into the second person, I think, to make it gender neutral in this Siddur.
Oh.
Right, it was unto him, right, and he is our God, there is none else. But it was changed to make it gender neutral. Yeah, I grew up also singing that one quite a bit. And, open heart, everybody up, and then let us adore, big, booming, classical reform. But I love it. I always, so there are rabbis who probably don't want you to read the translations. I'd rather you know what we're saying, right? And know, and have your own feelings about it and be informed and educated. Because this is, Rabbi Larry Hoffman talks about the Siddur being like the living, breathing expression of who we are as Jews right now. How we choose our liturgy, right? Torah remains fixed, the words of the Torah. The Siddur morphs and evolves as time goes on. And so, we should be aware of what we're saying, what were great. So thank you for all of your insights and your thoughtfulness tonight. We're going to do the one we usually do tonight, okay? The one at the bottom of 586. Would anyone like to come up and open the ark? Sure. Come on up. Stephen, do you want to come too? All right. Good, because I come up with great ideas for you guys. Everyone, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'teinu la'yotzer reshit, shelo asanim b'goyei ha'arasot, velo samanu b'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam kalkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam, va'anam Page 595. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one, whose life, now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Page 598. If you hear the name of a loved one on our Shiva, Shloshim, or Yortzeit list, I invite you to rise when you hear his or her name and remain standing until we all join you for the mourner's Kaddish. This gives us a chance to recognize your loss and offer you comfort as you observe this Yortzeit. Tonight, we are marking the recent passing of Mary Ann Van Leeuw and Susan Bush. We mark the Yortzeits, the anniversaries of death, for Beatrice Barron, Reuben Bernstein, Gussie Davis, Prosper Elmosino, Blossom Glickman, James Jubelier, Abner Kazakstan, Barney Levine, Abraham Lewitt, Menachem Mandel, Adam Nodelman, Cy Reiner, Goldie Rosenblum, and Sarah Swain. Zichronam Livracha. Who else is marking the Shiva Shloshim or Yortzeit and would like to share a name out loud? May all of the memories of our loved ones always be a precious blessing to all who knew and loved them. Together now, let's rise and join in the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yishkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrah pirtei v'yalich malchutei, v'chayimon v'yomechon v'chayei kol Beis Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah v'rach le'olam le'olayim, Yishvarach v'yishtabach v'yishbahar v'yishraman v'yishnaseh, v'yishadar v'yishaleh v'yishalal shmei v'yishar v'rikhu. Le'elam kol birchata v'shirata, tushakata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'rumal, hu'yah oseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and let us say together, Amen. Go ahead and please be seated for a moment. A couple of announcements before we conclude. Next Friday night, our Elul speaker series begins, and we are so fortunate that our two students who went to Israel this summer for Nifty in Israel will be speaking to us about their trip and about their journey. Our theme for the Elul speaker series is unexpected journeys. And so I know they really are going to highlight the things that, caught them by surprise and really stood out for them. So we have Katie Burzen and Sadie Smith speaking next week. The following Friday night, August 24th, is our Shabbat Barbecue. And I hope you'll join us at 6 p.m. For our short service outside, and then we'll be grilling. And Tracy Kleinberg is still looking for grillers if anybody would like to help out. We'd love to have you helping making our delicious meal. And then everybody else is asked to please bring a parv or meat side dish to share with everybody. So that's at 6 p.m. on the 24th. On the 1st, September 1st is Slichot, which is the kind of prelude, warm-up holiday to the High Holy Days. We're going to be showing Defending Your Life. Such a good movie with Albert Brooks and Meryl Streep. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out on a really fascinating look at the afterlife. If you have seen it, come watch it with the intention of applying its themes to the High Holy Days. The evening starts at 6:30. It will include Havdalah, the movie snacks, film discussion, and then our service back in here for Slichot. Also, I'm going to be starting a new cohort of adult B'nai Mitzvah this fall. And if anyone is interested in joining in, if you did not have a chance to become Bar Bat Mitzvah with a service at the age of 13, you are welcome to join the class. Some of you in this room are already part. So we'd love to have you. If you have questions about it, please feel free to give me a call. Finally, thank you so much to Len and Ellen Nodelman in honor of their son Adam's Yortzeit, and then Brad and Lori Jubelier honoring the Yortzeit of Brad's father James. Any other announcements that anyone would like to share? Okay. Any requests for a closing song? Creamer! Always a double lump. Let's do a double lump. Page 625. No? Allie doesn't want a double lump? You're good. You're okay. Should we do Ein Eloheinu as kind of a compromise?
Sure.
Okay. 626. Ein Eloheinu, Ein
Yes.